Alright, everybody, let's talk about this anti-gravity researcher, Amy Eskeridge. I'm hearing a few different stories that apparently she passed in 2022. But then we have sources coming out saying that she faked her death. And one of these sources happens to post it online on Facebook. A Michael Salia. Uh, I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's not true. I wouldn't. In reality, I believe it is. Because over the past, oh my word, I would say around 2022 and farther back, there has been scientists that are into the anti-gravity and other scientific. We'll put. I don't want to go out too much, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's just not her that disappeared because on her own and faked her death, or just disappeared. Um, as for Amy, there has nobody. So therefore, I would believe and these sources are very reliable. And then you have one that's on Facebook. He's pretty reliable. He's been a source of mine as well for a while, and so it wouldn't be too hard for me to believe it. Um, so I got the word from another source as well. I wanted to talk to you about besides Amy. Um, I'm going to get back into Amy here in a short while, but there is going to be files released about Men in Black. Um, it isn't going to be an extent, and they're going to probably put it out as something that they didn't know about, and that's the deal there. Um, so let me get quick into the Men in Black. There is and was Men in Black, so there still is. Now they're under a different name, uh, and it's a sector. I'm not going to go into full detail about that. So they weren't originally called the Men in Black. That's just what the name people gave them. Um, so they really didn't have a name. It's almost like Hitman, the numbers and that, Agent 47, Agent 48, so on and so forth. It's almost like that. So the Men in Black actually were people that were trained how to use their higher power, brain power, a more percentage, uh, and also we'll use that term extraterrestrials that are human. I mean, they're half and half. Let's put it that way. Okay. Now, the stories that you're hearing about hybrids, yes, those are true. Um, Humankind was given those. Uh, I would say, I wouldn't say eggs because they don't have that. Um, DNA was used. We'll put it that way. DNA was used to go into a human egg, and that would fertilize into a half breed, half human, half whatever. And they mostly use the Nords. So that's the thing. They use mostly the Nords DNA to do that. Anything else wouldn't be human. Let's put it that way. Um, but those stories are true, and I wanted to bring that up real quick because before I forgot that the Pentagon will be releasing some things. It won't be about that. Those are, to my knowledge, from sources and my time of knowing things. Um, DNA is actually used for a lot of things. China's using it. Um, Japan, and Russia, and possibly what we're learning might be another one is Germany. So we're really looking into that one because I don't think America will be too happy with that one. They're really not too happy with China either, and Japan. So, or Russia. Russia was different. They weren't too happy about it, but they understood it because of where they live in at. So, and they were talking about bringing mammoths, woolly mammoths back, and a few other ancient dinosaurs. Um, but yeah, so or should I say prehistoric animals? Because they really don't want to go to the dinosaur extent yet. Let's put it that way. And then there's that possibility of dragons, but I highly doubt it. Now I've seen some videos, but let me tell you something. Those ones are AI. The ones that they're trying to do something as dragons, you're not going to find on those. You would really have to have a friend that's on that scientific route to become a scientist that has official video of them attempting to create dragons, to recreate them. But yes, the stories are true about that too, about dragons. We'll get that into another video. Let's go back to Amy. So, Amy was into anti-gravity. She was working at Area 51. She had a very high sense in that area, and that's what the beauty thing is about it. She had high intelligence. I'm gonna tell you that.
Bluetooth disconnected.
From what I've heard, that she was so extraordinary, and then they messed up, and I'm not yet sure what that is. I'm going to be finding out actually today. I just got the text here, so today I'll be finding out what that is. So hopefully later today or tomorrow I'll get back to you on where they messed up, and that's why she stopped and then started coming out. One of the things I do know is that she found out plans, and so she was not into those plans that the government was using and thinking of using. So, another reason why she was coming out. The poor woman has been through a lot since coming out, and they do have a weapon. We'll say that. Basically a laser that can cause that it can do anything. This thing is powerful enough to do what Hawaii happened in Hawaii. Let's just put it that way. For entertainment purposes, let's put it that way. So for entertainment purposes, we wonder what happened in Hawaii. Why was there buildings with blue roofs not touched, blue cars, and that? So a energy weapon can only do so much to certain colors and that will affect it. Reason being is that the beam actually is blue. What you believe is white is a reflection from the sun, to my knowledge. And remember, this is entertainment purposes. So therefore, it wouldn't affect anything blue. And these people had previous knowledge of that, and that's why their roofs were done blue. Those that didn't know about it and had blue cars happened to just have blue cars, and their cars didn't get destroyed. So, but Amy knew about that. There was a discussion of that with my source, and that source has also been threatened since the day that those were shared. And my source is still getting threatened. So, unfortunately, I will not have my source on the show here on my channel for a good bit until things start coming out. And yes, things will start coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the thing. Always something will always come out eventually in time, and then we can start discussing that. Like I said, I have a family, so unfortunately, I don't want to put my family at risk. But Amy did made the right decision. I apologize to her family and friends who thought something else happened to her, but know that she is alive and well. Um, there probably will be fake news saying that her, was found, and no, it's not. They're gonna say that to try to sway you away from the truth that she is alive and well and had disappeared and faked her death, and for good reason. And we'll probably find out later on from my source because he's very well connected. Um, and he'll probably come out about some other scientists that also faked or just took off. I know there's one gentleman, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look that up. I just thought of it. He actually left his stuff in his cabin with his wife, and the only thing he took was his pupil. Walked out in the woods and then never came back. Now, we're talking about up in the woods where there's mountains. So you would hear a pew if it goes off in any type of way. So, but he was never found. So no, yeah. So I believe he disappeared as well. So I think he was the one that probably helped Amy and a few others that have just disappeared go. Now the few that you find that found out that they committed, those are false. So that is their famous work, is to make it look like it, because most people that are coming out with something like this, they're not thinking about taking themselves. Okay, these people are out to go after and get justice for the people, and for people to have knowledge of said things going on that we should know about. Just like UFOs and UAPs, we should have known. We had the right for that. And now the government's trying to say, oh, now we have the right. Listen, we had the right since day one. Okay? But they need to come out also about the truth about the world. That it's not flat. And that it's bigger than what they're saying. Way bigger. And that there's more. Because I'm sorry to say, if you were flying like around the world, like Amelia Earhart, she went pretty far. And then, yeah, I mean, she went really far. And that's the thing, like, if you really add up, because they try to make it sound like she didn't go far, and yet they still have not found her plane. Really, there's so many lies about finding her plane. They never found the plane, never found her. Okay, so in reality, what really happened? Well, she probably flew the wrong way and lost fuel. I do believe she went down. I do believe that. Because it would have been simpler to find out. I mean, the communication and everything. I really looked into it. I really looked deep into it about Amelia Earhart, because I thought it was a fascinating story of how a woman that wanted to fly, she wanted to fly around the world, and for a woman to do that, you got to give a woman that has the motivation and the willpower to do the things that she did. And any woman that we have nowadays like that, you got to give props to, like, and much respect, because nowadays you have these women that are just like, they want their nails done, and they want to, be fancy clothes, expensive, high maintenance, and that, and they don't have the motivation to do something like that. There's a lot of women out there that are motivated. I see constantly online that are motivated on farms and motivated on treasure discoveries and motivated on, working hard and doing what they got to do to make money to survive. They ain't doing it just to go out and get their nails done and get their hair colored and get fancy clothes and buy fancy stuff. And so, no. Motivated women are after their family. That's what their goal is their family. They ain't worried about all that materialistic stuff. But Amelia Earhart, I'll tell you what, woman was motivated. And that's just like Amy. Amy's a motivated woman for anti-gravity, to be in science for anti-gravity propulsion, and to have knowledge. Now, Amy not only studied this and became really good at studying this, she actually created anti-gravity items that haven't been released yet, but the U.S. government does use. Now, the U.S. government does have recreated UFOs. Straight out. They also do, and they came out with it not long ago, that have biological entities of what you call aliens or extraterrestrials. Now, these are not shot down. Listen, I don't care what this government tries to say that they shot something down. No, they did not. Okay, these entities, we'll call them, are very smart. Okay, they have a force field. There is such thing as a force field because it's around our Earth. Truth. They call it what they're calling. They're calling it something else, but it's really a force field. If you really think of it, they're trying to say the oceans in the sky. No, it's a force field. It's a type of force field that kind of. If you really look at a force field, let's use Independence Day and Independence Day resurgence. It's basically like that. Now, when you see something strike it, it ripples. It's like a ripple. That's what a force field does. Okay, it does a ripple effect. Okay, now the U.S. government does have some has high technology, and I'm going to get into that because Venezuela happened. Right now, these guards were telling the truth that these guys had some kind of and it gave these waves that caused their eardrums to pop, their nose and that, and then they hit the ground. Most of them losing consciousness, bleeding from the nose and mouth and ears. And I'm going to be reaching out to one of these bodyguards because I really would like. I would like to know everything because the news and who you're hearing from isn't going to tell you the full story. Okay, they're not. They're not. There's more to the story than just that. Okay, because he said they're trying to say they came in helicopters, and it was only what I think like a 20-man team in uniforms that they've never seen before. Now, okay, let me put it this way. There is a unit, okay? It's a top secret unit. Now, people call it Medusa, people call it, Ghost Recon or something like that. It's not. Okay, it's another sector. It's a military sector. And these men are basically went from Men in Black to this unit. But not all of them. A lot of them have come from the military that don't have family. They don't have, wife and kids. And most of them are orphans. And that's the top thing that, the military loves and the government loves is grabbing somebody to be able to use that has no connections to this world. And to use them. So a lot of them will go to orphans, and that's why they do testing. Like it's like a schooling at these orphans. And if their testings are way above normal, they will get them kids. They will go in, basically take them in and create a family for them in the government, in the military and that. And then that's when they go to this sector unit, which is highly classified unit. And they're trained at a young age. I believe. Hang on, let me see what my source has said, because I think it was a very young age. Go here. Yeah, so they go in at actually 14 years old. So they raise them if they get them young, and at I think they get them about 10 years old, and even at 10, I mean, if they're scoring really high, that's high intelligence. So, but yeah, so they get them, take them, introduce them into the military at 14 years old, and that's basically all training, and it's all highly classified. They have things that we don't even know about, and it's just amazing on a lot of things. That's why I really like they play this game back and forth with each other, with Russia coming at America and America coming at Russia, and North Korea and South Korea and all that. It's just a back and forth thing. What you really don't hear about is Germany, and these other smaller, even Britain. You don't hear nothing. Really, like you got to think of these small areas that they really don't. Even Sweden don't know. So because they know, like we have no chance. Okay, now the two people I should say they would side with is Russia and China. Surprisingly, I thought it would be more China because China is so advanced and all their kids are military trained. Um, uh, and most of them all go in the military once they're adults. So basically, they go into karate, uh, martial arts, and all that kind of stuff right away as a child. The boys, some of the girls, even depending. Um, and then their games are very advanced. Their war games are very, very advanced and almost real like. So they're already that's basically their training. So then when they do get them to come in the military, they're already pretty much on point. You know what I mean? Not like here that they really do an excessive training. Um, China does a 3 month boot camp, a 3 months boot camp because the kids are already basic, trained. Um, and that's what's insane. And that's true. That's actually true. That's actually fact. Um, if you really want to ask, you go over to China. Okay, the people that come over here are just like outcast, and basically they're outcast now because they're coming to America to live. Um, and they were basically outcast there because they didn't want to do the stuff like that over there. Um, and I found out a lot of things. And I talked to a few Asian people, and that because I love Chinese food. I love Chinese food, and I love Chinese people. I mean, I'm sorry, the Asians are just they're amazing to talk with. And Amy really enjoyed them too. She from what I've seen, she really conversed with them a lot even in their own language, and she learned a lot. But yeah, it's they're very intelligent, way above what we're at because their schooling is just on a top level, and they're basically trained right away the right way. Because in America, we're not. We're basically trained to be slaves. Okay, in China, you're trained to be independent and live right, and works ethic. Okay, you're not trained that in our schools. In our schools, you're basically trained bullcrap that's useless. Okay, except what math, computer class, maybe woodworking. Because if you get into a woodworking industry, um, and computer. That's really it. I mean, history. What does history have to do with a work ethic? I mean, what do you really? Because they're erasing history every day. Like it's unbelievable. Um, and that's the thing. Like our schools here in the United States just don't. They don't teach you anything really that's worthwhile. In China, you are right off the bat. They have you cleaning. There is no janitors in their schools because they clean. They clean the school. They learn cooking. They learn the whole time with cooking at a young age. At a young age, they're taught. I think at 8 years old, they're trained. They're being taught how to cook and that clean. Uh, you name it, everything. They're right away. Wilderness. They will take them out in the wilderness and teach them how to survive in the wilderness and that. Um, and right away, and then they have gaming time and that. And they don't do tests. They don't do tests till high school. What we call high school. So what we call high school, like the last 2 years, 11 and 12, what we call 11 and 12 here, 11th, 12th grade. That is when they do tests. Okay, and that's when they learn. They really pay attention also for their kids on geniuses and that too. So that's the thing, and they don't put them in like the military. They put them in like scientists, biology and marine life and so on and so forth like that. Um, so they really get on about their kids. I mean, and none of their TikTok and Facebook Reels and all that has all that bullcrap. It's all educational. All educational. So, if you take your phone, right? If you take your phone, and when you first started up, when you get a phone, right? It says about language and all that stuff and country. So if you put anything Chinese, and I tried this with a crappy phone I had, and then you go in and you get everything set up and that, right? And you go on and download TikTok. Get this: if you download TikTok and that, it's all educational. Excuse me. So that's why I found out. I tested it, and it's true. It is 100% true. It is insane. It blew my mind. Um, Nothing in there like we see. Nothing. Like they do not allow them to be brain warped and that from all that junk. And I talked to a couple, and they even said that they are over in China. They don't allow you to have warping videos and stupid videos that has nothing to do. It's all educational. It's all about learning and that's why Amy really liked them because and focused on them and that when she was younger. From what I heard from sources and that, and because she talked a lot about it, and she loved that because that's how she was raised with her family. Her family, all geniuses, very smart people. Um, but a lot of times, scientists and lab rats, they're so focused on money because they're paid big money. Um, and that's where that greed usually comes in. They don't care. But Amy did. Amy had a kind, loving heart. She found out some things. Like I said, I'm gonna find out today or tomorrow, and I'm also gonna. Once I find out, I'm gonna right away be on here. Um, she found out some things that the government was planning, didn't agree with it, and that's why and then she was being attacked in certain ways, and so that's why she had enough, and apparently that's why I guess she faked everything and just disappeared. Which you can't blame because the government is known for that. Government's known for going after people. I would know. They just right away with their NDAs. And if you break that NDA, it's either they threaten you with prison, but really they come after you and you're gone. You're gone. You disappear. Um, so they make it seem all right, and then yeah. So really, the government's all mafia. If you really want to think about it, every single one of them, which is true. Which show there's money laundering in various ways. I mean, look at these presidents. They get rich, and all they do is sit in an office, um, and not really do anything except what talk. They talking at. So here's the thing. Our president isn't even in control. Presidents are not even in control. Congress is. So the president can say he wants to do this, but it has to be approved by Congress and that and state and all that. See, there's the problem. So what is the purpose of having a president if you're really going to have to go through somebody when you're supposed to be in control? So really, you're not in control. Congress is. So that's what I'm saying. But yeah, so I really would like Trump to, you got to protect these people better. You're saying you're going to come out with, UFOs and, give full disclosure in that. Well, then why don't you protect these people that are coming out too and wanting to talk about it and give out real information? If you're really about the people, Trump, come on, man. Come on. I don't see nothing because you joked around about the gas prices and that happened for a little bit now, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're going with going after Iran, and that jumped up, which I think that was all planned. And then all of a sudden, the prices did go down. I don't know if you guys are from Columbia, Pennsylvania, the sheets there with the Turkey Hill and that on Prospect Road. $2. I think I heard $2.83 or 82 cents or something. Lowest I've ever heard it. Ever heard it. Unbelievable. And that's just the beginning. So but let me also tell you something else. And I've heard this from my source that talks with Amy. Everything was all entertainment purposes. So really a lot of stuff did not happen over in Iran. A lot of the stuff that they were saying happened did not happen over in Iran. It was all entertainment purposes, so they could raise the gas prices skyrocketing and food and all that stuff that they raised prices on. But that's the thing that I've told you guys. We all need to get together and get justice for these people that have been exiled. We need to really get on these and get these people, these tyrants out of our government, and get people that really do care about the people. Okay, we need to get people in that really care about and will do what they say and promise. See, that's the problem. They become a tyrant when they say they're going to do something and it doesn't happen. Okay, or it happens, even if it happens for a little bit and then boom, right away it's gone. That's still a tyrant. Still a tyrant because promise is guaranteeing the whole time. Not oh yeah, I'm gonna do it for like a few days or a few months. No, the whole time you're president and continue to be president, it should be happening. The only time it should change is if another president comes in and he does some dumb stuff and takes it. But yeah, but then he wouldn't be running for president again, or probably would be thrown out. But yeah. We need to come together. We need to pull these people out of Congress. We need to pull these governors and pull these mayors and all that and get people in that care about the people and will keep the truth. That is what I'm here for. This is what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to reach out to you all to get you to understand you have rights. You have proof of in the Declaration of Independence that we have the right to go in, yank these tyrants out, and put in place people that care about us and will do for us. So, really read up on your constitutional rights and the Declaration of Independence. You need to know. You need to know. This is Undercover with Jay, man. I tear everything apart. I look and I dig deep. That is my purpose. I dig deep. And I will find out the truth, I will find out the reality, and I will find out any law that they're breaking and prove it. That is my purpose for here, is to help you understand. And you need to understand right now, they're breaking how many laws, they're doing, money laundering, they're stealing and robbing from you, and they're breaking how many of your rights. And that ain't just the government. We're talking about the police. We're talking about the FBI. We're talking about the CIA. We're talking about everybody here, bud. Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Like, understand you have rights. And there's certain laws that cannot be over. And that's why the Declaration, that is law. The Declaration of Independence is law. And your constitutional rights is law. It trumps federal and state law. So therefore, I need you to understand. You need to look. You need to read. So that way you know what's happening. Just like if you go to court and they're saying that the state is picking up the charges, or the state is charging you, okay, I have the right to face my accuser. They can't provide that. They can't provide someone actually from the state to come in and testify against you because they don't know what the hell. So therefore, they would have to drop the charges. By law, you do not go to court and get charged by the state. The state cannot charge you. Pennsylvania state cannot charge you. The Commonwealth cannot charge you because they aren't the victim. You have to have a victim that will come in and speak, and your accuser has to talk. So therefore, in any way, if someone drops charges and they say, oh, well, the state of Pennsylvania or Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is going to pick it up, you can't. It's illegal. It's against the law. It's against the law. Therefore, you can go right away and say, well, I have the right to face my accuser, Your Honor. Let it be known and put it in the record that I have the right to face my accuser because the Commonwealth cannot pick it up. The state cannot pick it up. Therefore, my accuser has to come forward and has to present everything. And if they can't do that, then I wish for all charges to be dropped, and I wish to sue the court then if it is not dropped. Because therefore, it's not a victim. There is no victim that it happened to. Therefore, I cannot be charged with this crime. And if it isn't dropped and I am not released, there will be a federal lawsuit. And that'll be a federal lawsuit because you are breaking federal law. Proven fact, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. And that's for anything. You have to have a victim that comes and speaks. Alright, everybody. I'm getting a little off topic here, but I got to get going. I want to get on to the next subject eventually here. So I'm going to take a little rest here, and then I will be back, and we will jump into the next thing. And guess what? We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this, man. I want to get the truth out there. I want to get people to realize that, conspiracy is not conspiracy. They call it conspiracy because they're trying to throw you off to make you think this person is telling bullcrap. It is truth. It is reality. Now, some things are out there and far-reaching, but guess what? What I talk about ain't far-reaching. It's reality. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and enjoy life.